All right, so on here, this was a little bit mind-blowing to me this week. So what you're looking at here is a graph from the INTF website, and what this is doing here, can I get that zoomed in? There we go. Is it's showing the completion of all of the manuscripts and how far they are as far as getting all of them imaged, all of them indexed. So indexed is when you basically take a page of manuscript and say it's from, Matthew chapter 1, verse 18 to Matthew chapter 2, verse 15, right? It's when you index the page so that you know which passages are contained in the page. And then there's transcribing, which is to actually take the text off of the manuscript and to type it out into a modern Unicode font. So it makes it easier to search and stuff. So this gives you a list as to the progress of how each of those things are going here. So we have all these manuscripts cataloged. Of the ones that are cataloged, okay, the papyri, almost all of them have been imaged, indexed, and transcribed. But then when we move to the minuscules, okay, that's the Uncial manuscripts. Those are the manuscripts that start with a 0. Of all the ones that are done, we have almost all of them, so 95-ish% are currently imaged, so you can see them somewhere at INTF's website, if you're allowed. And then they have about 90% or so indexed, so each page tells you which passages are on them. But then the hardest work is to transcribe them. And as you can see, the majuscule manuscripts are only about 23%, 22% transcribed. So a lot of work is still to be done for all this kind of thing. The minuscules diminishes rapidly. Okay, they are all almost imaged, but most of them are not indexed, and a very high amount of them have not even been transcribed yet. So this goes on to suggest that there's still a lot of work as far as being able to get the details of each of these manuscripts online into a format that we can all see and use and understand, and obviously to put into like computer systems and run analytics and stuff like that. It would be interesting to see how many text families come out of everything once it's all indexed and transcribed and all that kind of stuff. But what you see here also is a reflection from our earlier conversation about lectionaries and how there is almost no information on lectionaries currently out there. Go do a search on lectionaries, and what you're going to find are a whole bunch of people explaining how they use the lectionary today, but nobody knows where it came from or how it got standardized, where it got standardized. It's a big mystery. And you can also see the general thinking toward the usefulness of lectionaries when it comes to textual criticism, because it's kind of like the bottom of the barrel. Indeed, there's probably stuff in there, but it's a tremendous amount of work to get that stuff out of there. So anyway, I just wanted to show this because I was kind of blown away by this this week, because I was of the understanding that ECM was going to be, like all the manuscripts are going to have all the information, but no, it's not true. It's not true. There's only a couple hundred manuscripts that are referenced in there out of 5,000. So still a long ways to go from the modern textual critical perspective. Even from a Byzantine text perspective, right? What we're seeing here is that many of the Byzantine text manuscripts have not been indexed or transcribed yet. So there's a lot of work to be done. But that's not to say that stuff hasn't happened. So for example, the book of Jude, I believe, has been fully collated. First John has been fully collated. Philemon, I believe, has been fully collated. Of course, people are doing this because it's not multiple lifetimes of work to do it. And then we have the work of Frederick Weiss, or Wiese, I don't know how to say it. His whole point of producing the profile method was to be able to categorize manuscripts based on a few chapters, as opposed to spending lifetimes trying to collate entire manuscripts. Which has been somewhat useful, and there is some correlation. It's just like, was it Morris? On John 18, we talked a little bit about that, and it's reflection on Theophylact's commentary, which was kind of cool. But so he took all the manuscripts he could find of John 18, and he grouped them together, and he found some correlation between the profile method in Luke 1, 10, and 20, and some correlation with a few other things. So anyway, interesting stuff. But yeah, long way to go. And of course, the next big discussion surrounding this is, well, can't you train an AI to read minuscule manuscripts, and I'm sure it's coming. If I had to put a guess on, we're probably 5 years out at most from having some sort of AI system read digital manuscripts. Anyway, yeah, so that was kind of something interesting that happened this week.